have here sitting in the Rich Eisen Show studio, Team Penske driver, three-time champion of the Indianapolis 500, Helio Castroneves.
Wow,
good to
thank
see you.
you.
How are you, Helio? Good to see you.
That. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing very well.
So, I'm sorry about the mispronunciation of your last name that you've been hearing all day.
Listen, Rich, let me tell you, people call me Helio, Julio, hello. It's so fine, you know. As
But
long
it's
as they
Helio.
call me, it's Helio. Yeah,
Helio Castroneves.
It's so good. But I do turn right and left sometimes, believe it or not.
No, yes, you do that. I know that. You actually do move the steering wheel
We do
around
go
a lot.
around in many places. In fact, here in Long Beach, which we're going to be here on April 17th,
yes,
it's right and left because
it's all over. Exactly, it's a street course, so you're able to do all of that stuff.
That's right.
So it's good to see you here. Thanks you for coming on this show.
Thank you.
So we are now in the California portion or the West Coast portion of everything going on in the Verizon IndyCar Series.
That's
with
right.
Coming up the Phoenix Grand Prix, the season opener in St. Petersburg. You finished fourth place in it. So what does this time of year mean for you?
Well,
right
it's
now?
Great because everybody's exciting, energetic, everybody's ready to go. We all spend about 7 months basically preparing for the first race of this season, which our team Penske ended up winning with Juan Pablo Montoya and second with Simon Pagenaud. So I ended up finished fourth. So we actually ready to go. We can wait for Phoenix and obviously Toyota Long Beach race, which is going to be April 17th. So we are all preparing and getting ready for start good momentum for the Indianapolis 500, which is going to be the
100th running of the Indy 500.
So it's all the momentum, you know, even that I understand that it's a super speedway, all the things that we're doing sometimes is street course, like turn right and left and things like that. Phoenix is an oval, but it's a short oval. So when you get this momentum, believe it or not, it helps so much to go to the Indy 500 and get ready.
So in your time winning the Indy 500 as much as you have and being around Indianapolis, today Peyton Manning is retiring for a second time, I guess.
Amazing,
he did it with Denver last week, now with the Indianapolis Colts. You ever have the occasion to run into him?
Yes, in fact, when he used to play for the Colts, he used to go to actually our time stand when we used to practice at Indy 500. Him and Tony Dungy. And actually, there's a funny story. They, because they used to come to our racetrack, they invited me to go in 2007 on the Super Bowl in Miami because I live in Miami, or Florida. So, they invited me to go to watch their practice, which was fantastic. It was just me and the president of the team, Penske. We're sitting on the grandstand, just us. There was this huge grandstand, just us. And we're watching the practice. All of a sudden, Tony Dungy finished the practice. They kind of like call us.
They wave you over?
Well, what's going on? You know, so we right there in the middle, they made like a circle in the middle of the field, and Tony Dungy started, listen, great job, guys, everybody finished strong just before the Super Bowl, and I brought someone here to talk about winning, and I know we can do it, so let's give him a big hand, and he's going to say some few words. I'm like,
you are?
Whoa, am I? I was not expecting that. It was so unexpected.
That's an audible.
It was very cool. I did say something with my broken English, something I hope they understand.
Yes.
Which, in fact, the first kick of the game I was watching, remember, Chicago Bears ended up scoring a touchdown right away.
Sure.
I'm like, great. I'm never going to go back to Indianapolis now. But
Devin has to return the opening kickoff for a touchdown.
And
you thought Helio Castroneves had put the ziggy, if you will, on the Colts.
They won, which is great.
So you could go back.
And I went back and obviously ended up winning again in 2009, the Indy 500.
When did you first fence climb? When did you start doing that?
It was in 2000 in Detroit, Belle Isle. It was my first win ever. It was so cool. I was so excited, to be honest, winning the race, that I was supposed to go to the pits to meet the team, the cameras, TV, the victory circle, and actually I missed it. I completely made a mistake, so I ended up stopping the finish line, and when I looked my left, the crowd was going crazy. So I said, you know what, why not? I'm going to go there and celebrate with the fans. See, there was nobody there, so
you hop out of the car?
I hop out of the car, start climbing the fence. People were getting like shocked of what this guy doing, you know? But turned out to be a great way of celebration, fun way, and the people saw that was coming from my heart, and it was really cool.
I'm here with Helio Castroneves, Team Penske driver, getting set for the Phoenix Grand Prix coming up on the 2nd of April, and then right here down the road at the Grand Prix of Long Beach on the 17th of April here on the Rich Eisen Show. So what is going on in your native country with the Olympics right now? Because all we are hearing is that it's not ready. that the city and everybody's not ready. What can you tell us about
Yeah,
what's going on?
I'm not there, by the way, but
No, I know that, and I don't think I hold you responsible for
Yes,
the entirety
exactly.
of the IOC's
But let me tell you one thing.
foray down there.
I heard, and from good resources actually,
Yes.
saying that most of the Olympics, a lot of in the end of the day, nobody's ready, you know, because there is so much going on. But I feel that not because it's Brazil.
Right.
By the way, the village where the athlete is going to stay used to be a racetrack there. We used to race there. So
What do you mean?
They destroy the racetrack, and now they make the village. So it became a very beautiful area. So a property of the whole racetrack that we had, now it's a
But
village.
this beautiful property where the Olympians
Which is
are
ready, by the
staying
way.
at the village.
Yes.
Right. And
used to be a racetrack, but
you have raced, or you have been in a car to race around that actual footprint that this stuff is on.
Unfortunately, for racing community, it was part of history of racing in Brazil racing, but unfortunately.
So wait a minute, you're saying there's even a controversy in the racing world based on where the Olympic Village is
about
too?
7 years ago,
Can't
yes.
catch a break.
But you know what? The good
Right.
news is it's for a good reason. Understanding the athletes and a lot of people are exciting, and they will be ready. They will be ready. It will be a great show. One thing Brazil knows, it's how whatever happens, people going to winning or losing, they're still going to have a great time in Brazil, and that's what Brazilians are known for.
That is definitely the case, I think, for sure. So when it comes down to it, for you, what sport other than the one that you do?
I love track and field. Because
track and field.
Yeah, when I used to when I start racing, my background of training, you know, to get ready for racing, because if you see the track and field, a lot of guys are just lean. You know, they cannot be too big, otherwise muscle means weight in our racing world. So that means you slow down. So I love track and field. In fact, a good friend of mine is Michael Johnson. I was with him 3 months ago, and he's going to Brazil to broadcast for BBC. And it was really cool to see him again. And he was one of the guys I was always looking. So I'm really looking forward for the track and field world.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so compared to racing, winning, what's more difficult or more grueling? Winning an Indianapolis 500 or Dancing with the Stars? Which is more grueling for you?
I have to say dancing was really tough, man.
Was that right?
It was incredible. It was a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. I love...
So what was your go-to move?
Well, my go-to move...
Yeah, go-to move. When you knew that you had to make sure that you were going to...
I didn't have a go-to move.
Well, that...
I thought it was going to be... My goal was to not be eliminated first week. Let me tell you that. That was my goal. But... it was so much fun. I had a great time. In fact, I became with a lot of people, a lot of dancers. I became friends, and I love the show. Today, the show that I watch most in off season or in season is Dancing with the Stars. I love it. I love it.
That's after the Rich Eisen show, though, right?
Well,
Helio?
exactly. No,
I mean, I don't want to make myself
now that I'm
the
here, I'm
story
going to be watching you most of the time.
Well, thank you. So where is the mirror ball? Where's that mirror ball?
It's right between my 3 Indy trophies.
That is not the case. Are you
it
serious?
Is. Well, you know why? Because I did that. There is an explanation for that. I knew that every time I get out of my home, when I look to that trophy, I was like, you know what? If I put my hard work, I can make it happen too. I didn't think I could pass the first week, and I ended up winning the competition. So it's just a motivation way to anything, and actually not only for me, for everybody, anything you can do if you put your hard work.
Yeah, you too can win Dancing with the Stars.
You too can win.
Exactly. I don't know if everybody could do that. So what would you think? Like if you're riding, let's just throw it out here, Long Beach, because it would be a local situation. So you're going through the course, and you feel like you've had a good lap, but there's Bruno in your ear, telling you how you did. Do you think that would be helpful? Basically, as you are driving around.
If it is a constructive information, it can help. But if it's just saying like you got to go faster. Really, that does not help.
Or just tell you, it's wonderful.
Like my God, it's not going to help.
That was the best lap ever.
I hear you.
What do you think?
Yes.
Was that a good serviceable
That was
Bruno?
pretty good, by the way. You might be careful. They might call you to do a
the one time, this was a big moment.
You should be on the show.
Well, no, I've never been asked to be on it, nor do I know if I could ever hack it.
Okay.
But I did go as a guest one time because Emmett Smith was performing. Was that was not the year you did it?
Not the year, but I became friends with him because of the show.
Because of the show, right? Yeah. So Emmett invited me and my wife to come down, and I figured it was just like everything in Los Angeles, where you could wear jeans.
Oh,
in the audience. And my wife told me, you can't do that.
Yes.
And I'm like, it's L.A. I mean, you go wear jeans everywhere. As a matter of fact, take a look at my Chris Command Center. The way these guys dress for television, it's embarrassing.
Great.
Okay? Shabby chic is the way it can look. He's dressed like a teenager with orange socks for Syracuse.
I hear you.
Helio.
I hear you.
At any rate, so I'm like, no, of course you can go out in jeans. So when I arrived, they basically told me I couldn't even sit in the audience.
Yep.
So we compromised. They put me behind one of those dinner tables so you couldn't see my bottom half.
Yeah, that is
You know,
they are very strict on that.
They sure are.
They are very. I was very surprised too, but it is a ballroom show. You know, it's
Sure.
a ballroom dancing, and they are very elegant. And but I tell you what,
Yes.
great group of people. Everybody was really cool, and I still, like I said, they still cheer me on racing. And when I have time, I go back and watch them as well.
Does IndyCar Series have a policy for kids about kids being around the track at all? Because that's
Well,
being discussed right now in
Yeah,
Major
no,
League
it's
Baseball.
interesting.
You know?
I have a little girl. She's 6 years old, and we do allow them to. I'm not sure in the pit lane because pit area. We're talking about speed limits 50 miles an hour, so you don't want anybody crossing the pit lane.
No.
In that aspect. So, but I think on the grid, when all the cars are down, are you allowed? So it's okay. But in our case, it's extremely difficult to have kids. Actually, 18 years. I think the minimal age to be in the pit lane is 18. It's 18. So you're not allowed to even be where we are racing.
Yeah, and
so
around all
it's a
that
little bit
equipment and around all the
well, I'm
moving
very
parts,
fortunate that I
literally,
can bring
figuratively.
my kids, my family
Sure.
to the racetrack, but they understand that there is limit areas, so they stay kind of like separate.
Last question for you. How are you as a passenger in the car? How are you? Are you a backseat driver? Are you fine to be sitting there?
I am okay. I mean,
No,
sometimes.
it does not sound. When you went high register like that, Elio, that means that you are not. Means that you are not a good passenger.
Yeah, no, it depends. Depends. There are two type of drivers. The one that it's very slow, very careful, and that's kind of annoying because you're like, come on, you can just avoid the guy in passing.
Sure.
But there were the other type of driver that they want to show you how good they are, and that's scary. Because you're like, listen, I'm just here to.
They want to show off for you.
Exactly. I just want to go from point A to point B. Don't try to show off because we're not going to get anywhere. We're going to be in the middle. So.
But you're not saying turn left here, turn right here.
I'm not
Get in
much
this
of a-
lane. That lane's much faster. Come on.
Sometimes I do that.
Helio and Castroneves at H3LIO on Twitter. The Phoenix Grand Prix coming up on April 2nd, and then the Grand Prix of Long Beach on the 17th before, as we all know, the Memorial Day running of the 100th edition of the Indy 500. Good to see you here, sir.
Thanks for having me again.
No, please. It's
Appreciate
been wonderful chatting with you. We'll have you back again if you're so inclined.
I appreciate it.
Wonderful.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.